It was a cold, dreary morning when a young man by the name of Joseph sat in the kitchen talking to his parents.
Mom, Dad, I have something to tell you.
Joseph announced tentatively. What is it, honey?
I don't want to play football for Miami State next year.
What? Why? You have worked so hard for so long. You're so good. Why do you want to give it all up?
I want to join the Marines and serve my country.
Son, are you sure that is really what you want? You know, once you sign those papers, there's no going back. You have to work for our government, Mom cautioned.
Yes, Mom, I know. I've thought long and hard, and this is truly what I feel I need to do. It's my time to honor those who have served before me.
Okay, honey. You know we will support you in anything you do. I just hope you understand what you're getting yourself into. It all began on a quiet, foggy morning in a small coal mining town of Perkin, Maryland. It was the 3rd day of February in 1940. A darling baby boy by the name of Joseph was born. His parents couldn't be more thrilled. He was their first, with 8 more to follow. Joseph's parents lived in a Jenny Lind constructed house that backed up to the mountainside. There was a small front yard where his family had a victory garden. Walking down the street, the flags of gold stars were seen in the windows of grieving neighbors. From his house, he saw the railroad tracks for the mining carts, and across the valley was George's Creek, which was frozen over. Mr. and Mrs. Footen were still in economic recovery after the Depression. Joseph's father worked in a factory that manufactured parachutes for the war effort, which kept him from being drafted overseas. His mother quit nursing school to be a stay-at-home mom so she could look after Joe and his 8 siblings. Being a stay-at-home mother and not having much money, Joseph's mother would hand-make all of their clothes. Because of the war, there were things they could not buy and had to ration books for just about everything, from gas to sugar to shoes and even stoves. A lot of cars were up on blocks because rubber tires weren't available. Horse-drawn cars were used by the larger towns in the area for maintenance. As a young man, just before sunrise, Joe would head into the mountains, making his rounds of his animal traps. Sometimes he would go deep into the mountains, exploring and hiking. Joseph would also meet up with his friends and play war games for hours. Being raised in isolation and poverty helped motivate him to get a full-ride football scholarship as a kicker to an all-boys private Catholic school, even though he hated football. They called him Joe the Toe. He was an all-star, lettering all 4 years of high school, and even got offered a full-ride scholarship to University of Miami. Having the opportunity to go to college wasn't enough. He felt there was something he needed to do first. Having a lot of his family going off to war played a major influence in Joseph's life. He idolized them, and when Joe was only 5 years old, he told his parents, "Mom, Dad, I'm going to grow up and become a commando for the United States Marines." He kept remembering his family's sacrifices. In Joseph's own words, he described his own personal struggle.
I remember listening to Roosevelt's assurances over the radio, praying my family was okay. One of my uncles was a radio man that survived the Battle of Anzio, which had heavy casualties. My 2 aunts were Army nurses and served on the battlefields at the front lines in Europe from the beginning to the end of the war. My mother's brother-in-law lived through the Battle of the Bulge, which had the highest casualty rates for any operation during the war. Lastly, I had a cousin that survived the Bataan Death March.
His family had sacrificed so much, and even though they came home alive, they were in various states of mental health. Some never fully recovered from their service. After seeing his family's many sacrifices, Joseph made the decision of his life. It was at this point he decided to turn down the full-ride scholarship and join the United States Marines. He needed to honor his relatives and the men and women who gave their lives for our country. Through this journey, Joseph has realized his identity and what truly matters to him. Honor, selflessness, and dedication are the hallmarks of the man he has become today.